Hi there, Will here, and today my audio recorder has bugged out again, so there goes my lovely beach intro. But anyway, today I've been putting videos on YouTube for almost exactly a year, so this is going to be a bit of a celebratory video in which I shoot some expired film, which is quite interesting, and was provided to me by my good friend Christian Bayers of Skit Cameras, who I guess technically has sponsored this video. First sponsored video, shooting Portra 160NC and some Kodak Vericolor, and more to come. Anyway, before we get into the photo making side of things, I just wanted to express my thanks to a bunch of the people who were involved in this channel getting off the ground at all, really. And I suppose it starts with people like my partner, Maya, and my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my brother, because that small group of people are probably the only folks who watched my first few videos, besides a few people who came over from Instagram, and for that I'm immensely grateful. And then, not too long along the line, I made a video about the 500mm RB lens, and Nico from Nico's photography show showed that to his audience, and my channel got some traction from that. And then Tom Humble saw the Nikonos video I made where I compared it to a disposable, and he shared that with his audience. And then Brian Burke saw that video and some of the other ones on my channel, and he shared that with his audience, and has continued to share a bunch of my stuff with people, and is likely a large part of the moderate success that I reckon this channel has experienced. And of course, the biggest part of it all is you, kind stranger, watching things, for which I am immensely grateful and humbled, because I really never figured there'd be even near the amount of people that are watching things, watching them, especially only a year in. And an immense thank you to people who contribute to the videos on Buy Me a Coffee or buy prints or comment on things and interact with me and tell me their thoughts on the adventure or the photos, and it's just wonderful and lovely, and I'm immensely grateful for it. And I suppose the last group of people I need to thank, in case any of them are watching, are my friends, because they're a substantial part of this channel and have been photographed a decent amount already. So people like Vic and Stu and Maddie and Jed and Jono and Gina. An immense thank you to you for helping me make these things and photographing stuff that isn't just landscapes. And even my mate James and his lovely wife Susan, who haven't featured in a video yet, but are always very complimentary about things. Anyway, I reckon it's about time to shoot some inspired film, so we'll get into that. But thank you so much. Oh, right. If you're wondering why I have the complexion of a lobster, it is not because the camera is bugging out or your monitor is weird, it's because I got played by some clouds making the photos in this week's video, and as a result have a decently intense sunburn. Slightly windier than I wanted it to be, but don't mind me. Hopefully I'll get a picture of something. There's some really pretty sea anemones down here. And hopefully I don't get knocked over by a gigantic wave, because the waves are just over there and the tide is coming in. Anyway, we've got a roll of Kodak Vericolor 400 in here that expired at least 20 years ago. It came in a very pretty gold wrapping paper, and the backing paper was also quite thin, as an observation. Anyway, hopefully it gives us some interesting renderings of scenes around here. Might take a picture of that like seaweed rock pool scene going on here, actually. I've got a polarizing filter on stuff, and I'm aiming for overexposure on it. So even though the metered reading is something like 1,000th at f8, I'm shooting at 125 at f8, and hopefully that gives us enough stops of light to make up for the fact that there's a polarizer, which is like 2 stops, and the expired film, which I'd normally kind of shoot around box speed, but this seems really expired, so. Although, There's an anemone there that I'll just shoot at the metered reading because it's in the shade. 125 f8. I will do that. Why are none of the sea anemones in the light? All the anemones that are in the light are like holding themselves in. I guess they get burned in the light? No, there's got to be an angle on this thing that'll work. Nope, I'm not going to get an anemone picture nearly as nice as the other one like that. Had je net gekraaid? Ja. Dat was amper een groot probleem. I nearly just got owned by a wave. But I want to go see still, while the tide is coming in, if I can get a picture of this seaweed. Because it looks pretty cool. And the water on the way, the wind on the rock pool water just isn't any good, so maybe I'll get something out of the seaweed. There is so much sea spray here. Probably shouldn't muck around too heavily here. I've just found every 14-year-old monster drinking lime green enthusiast's wet dream of a scene. It's like this super bright green rock with orange highlights and like purple sea urchins on it. So I'm going to take a picture of that and then we'll move on. The plan was to photograph some more expired stuff on the weekend, but the weather had other plans. So I ended up meeting up with my friend Maddie in the week, and we went to the beach and made some photographs on the Portra 160NC. Maddie has a YouTube channel, by the way. If you're into accounting at all, she explains all sorts of interesting accounting things, so if you want to go check that out, you can find her here. I hope you enjoyed that. At the very least, you have a bit more of an insight now into how I ended up so ridiculously sunburned, but I feel like it was worth it. I got some pictures I really enjoyed. The Vericolor rendered quite grainy, which I'd say is a bit of a bummer, but I mean, it's expired film and I shot it at box speed, so it's kind of to be expected. And the Portra 160NC, which I also shot at box speed, was really, really, really nice. I've shot NC before, and it has been nice in the past. And this was nice too. I reckon I'm going to shoot some more of it. It did have an issue. These little white speckles pop up on it, which I'm sure like a machine with digital ice could handle easily, but me and my Emicon don't like speckles. I feel like it's probably something to do with it being expired or something like that. If you know why these tiny white specks have showed up in the pictures, please let me know, because I am quite curious. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for the first video of a new year. Also, 10% off of all prints on my store for the next 3 days in celebration of a year. I'd do more than 10%, but at that point I'd definitely be losing money because it costs so much more to ship things than the shipping charge that I put on prints that if I was giving 10% off, it would probably literally cost me money to send things out. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.